Mika, what time is it?
It is 7:04 a.m.
Delightful.
Waking up on a day off is not something I usually enjoy, but I was ready to go today. My sister and her friends were going to be taking me on a tour of UBC today, and I was rather excited. As we pulled in, I was anxious to get started.
One thing about UBC that you think makes it better than all the other universities?
I think it's location and its buildings. So we're right by the ocean. You can literally walk to Wreck Beach. And we're close to the city, and all the buildings, people actually put time into designing them. So they're sustainable, moderately nice to look at, designed for actually living in. They're not like old and gross like some other unis, so.
I could see what she meant. The buildings were absolutely gorgeous. So were the grounds. After a small tour, it was breakfast time. And let's just say, I was quite excited to see the very customizable menu they had. I chowed down on a delicious breakfast of sausages, bacon, and hash browns. Very good way to start a great day. After this, I was taken up into the residences and got a good glimpse of what student life was really like. Busy. I followed my sister into her psychology lecture in a beautiful lecture hall where we learned how to click train cats, birds, how to train goldfish, and the difference between negative reinforcers and positive reinforcers. It was very interesting. They used a system called iClicker to answer multiple choice questions that were posed by the professor. After psychology, we headed over to the library, where my sister handed me off to her friend Matthew.
Wow.
Matthew showed me the Hogwarts room, or at least that's what they call it. This room was in the library and it contained a spiral staircase. It was so quiet in here, if you thought too hard, someone could hear it. This room contained portraits of what I assume are very smart people. After our dizzying ascent through the Hogwarts room, we exited through the old part of the library, which looked like a castle. We ended up in the science building, where Matthew showed me some of his classrooms and some of the labs. Then we stopped to admire the beautiful blue whale skeleton that was in the Beatty Biodiversity Museum. After admiring some workspaces in the Ocean and Earth Science building, we ended up in the Forestry building. I was told forestry was a great program for anybody who enjoyed the outdoors. After playing around with some of the interactive exhibits at the Pharmaceutical Sciences building, we sat down for lunch.
What is one surprising thing that you found after being at UBC for nearly a year?
I think I was surprised about how motivated everybody is to learn. You think there's a lot of people who'd rather not be at school, but I was surprised to see that almost everybody who is here actually really does want to be here, and they put effort into learning, and they put effort into just improving themselves to like the best way they can. And I don't know, maybe I wasn't expecting that. I probably should have expected that, but I was a little surprised. I was expecting more people to be slackers and just not take it seriously, but I'm impressed, I suppose, by how much people try.
After a long walk around campus, I was reunited with my sister. We went textbook shopping and we got to admire all the lovely, giant-sized textbooks there were. Next, my sister took me to her collegium, a place where people who don't live on campus can be together and work together and have the full university experience.
I don't know. I think it's probably the fact that it's a winning combination of really good faculty and like people who really want to be here. Like it's an institution where people like come to learn and do research, and so it's like high level academically, but then they didn't just focus on that. Like the campus is pretty, and like there's opportunities for involvement, and there's so many clubs. And so they didn't just focus on it being all about learning, they focused on it being about a place that you actually want to be, which makes a big difference, because then you're like, hey, I'm getting a really good education, plus the campus is really pretty. So
I attended a physics class where I had no idea what was going on the whole time, and then I ended up in statistics with my sister again.
There it is. Excellent. Well done. So a couple of things to tell you.
The statistics professor was a very punny individual, had a lot of dad jokes, and was very proud of himself for whatever reason. I was told the statistics class would scare me straight, but I think I might have just been there on a good day. After a long day at UBC, we started to make our way back. There were many things I learned today, from the slang names of library rooms all the way to how to click or train a cat. I saw an abundance of cyclists and skateboarders. I learned what a collegium was, and I learned that textbooks are way more expensive than you would possibly imagine. Thanks to the interactive display at the pharmaceutical building, I learned the route an antidepressant takes through your body. I learned that there was a rock outside engineering that everybody loves to graffiti. I also learned that people at UBC give a damn, and that's really something. The food was delicious, and the people were very nice. My time at UBC was spent touring around on foot, which was a little tiring, but very well worth it because of the beautiful buildings and the beautiful people. Everyone there was dedicated and wanted to be there. They knew that they were paying good money to get the best education they could. I'm excited to see what school will be like when everybody gives a damn. Convinced that it was too good to be true, I asked one last question.
Is the worst thing about UBC?
Student population size. It's ridiculous.
Too big?
Too big. Too many people in residence. Kitchens are very busy at all times.
yeah, this is unrelated to the school, but it's too far away from my house.
Closer than Ontario
That is true. You have to
and
wait there.
Victoria.
Yes. So otherwise, other tough points are grade inflation, the ratio of international to domestic students
Yeah.
can be challenging for a lot of people.
That's definitely.
Access to employment outside of campus in the immediate area is challenging for a lot of people, so I've heard. And then also finding somewhere to live is probably the hardest
Yep.
thing.
That's definitely
Once you get kicked out of first year residence, you don't have too many options.
they guarantee residence first year, and then after that they're like, surprise,
Yeah, you're taking a hike.
you're on your own now.
Yeah.
And they're not super helpful with that transition for people either. So
Try to be doing.
I guess UBC is so great that everybody wants to go there. After today, that's where I can honestly say that I would like to end up when I'm done school. I know that in order to get there, I'm going to need to work with dedication. If I could say one thing about UBC, I would say that it's definitely worth getting up for at 6 in the morning.